lurks in the forests of southern Appalachia. Sasquatch, the Chandler ghosts, the Wampus cat, the wood booger, all of these creatures in nature, and maybe more. Do they haunt our woods or just our imaginations? Welcome to a special Halloween edition of the Sound Bearier, where we talk about these cryptids and ghosts of the Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia area. What's out there in the woods? Does it scare you? We're here to talk about a few of those today. One of these more famous legends is of the Wampus cat. The Wampus cat, many tellings of this story. In southern Appalachia, stretches all the way into Arkansas, some even say into Missouri. Sightings of big cats. Where did these legends come from? Well, they're varied. One such legend involves a beautiful Cherokee woman whose husband was a member of a hunting party that frequently went out to hunt and gather for the village and for the tribe. But before this hunt always took place, the Cherokee men would gather in secret to perform a ritual and prepare themselves to go out for the hunt. Well, the curiosity of this woman kind of overtook her one night, and she crept through the forest, slowly going to the ritual site. She disguised herself with the hide of a catamount, a wild animal, a wild cat that lurked in the forest of southern Appalachia, commonly known to the Cherokee. She disguised herself at this and spied on the men performing the ritual. She just got close enough until suddenly one of the Cherokee shamans spotted her. Being insulted by her presence there, the shaman put a curse on her, and the catamount skin fused to the woman's body. She screamed, but the curse was already done, and because of that, she was thrown out of the tribe and forced to wander the forests for eternity in the skin of a catamount. Another such legend of the Wampus cat comes from an evil demon called the Iowa, the spirit of madness that had been terrorizing villages of the Cherokee around what is now Etowah in what is modern-day North Carolina. Legend has it that the Iowa had terrible power to drive men crazy with just a single glance. It preyed on Cherokee children and terrorized the tribe. A Cherokee woman's husband, named Standing Bear, decided he would put an end to this. He went out in pursuit of the Iowa to stop it and to bring peace back to the village. Unfortunately, he returned to the village, attacked and broken by the Iowa, blinded and unable to ever hunt again. Well, Standing Bear's wife, Running Deer, became enraged at this. She wanted revenge against the Iowa. So Running Deer went to the Cherokee shaman. She wanted revenge. And the shaman gave her a mask with a bobcat's face. And they told her the spirit of a mountain cat could stand up against the Iowa. But she had to be the one to surprise him. Otherwise, the Iowa would drive her to madness. Running Deer was brave, and she knew the woods around the village very well. So she trekked out, slowly creeping through the woods at night, alone, but brave enough to take on the challenge. This widowed Cherokee woman thought to herself, if I had been that Iowa, I would be mad by now. But at the edge of a creek, Running Deer saw footprints that belonged to no human, and she knew she was on the path of the Iowa. She crept slowly through the forest to a small clearing, and sure enough, there the Iowa was, near a pond. With the bobcat mask on, Running Deer crept in slowly and leapt. Pow! The Iowa turned to see the bobcat right in front of him. It screeched, fell backwards, rolling down through the forest, down into the water, under the water, where Running Deer could only see its gurgling cries and hands trying to escape. She knew she had won. Running Deer then turned and ran back through the forest as fast as she could. The bobcat mask had worked. She had won. She had vanquished the demon and avenged her husband. This is yet another story of the Wampus cat. Now, whether you believe it was the Cherokee woman cursed by the shaman to always lurk in the forests for spying on the ritual, or maybe it just might be Running Deer in a bobcat mask creeping around and still to this day protecting those Cherokee lands. What else lurks out in the woods of southern Appalachia?
Thomas Spencer was an 18th century explorer and hunter who left his mark on Tennessee in the shape of a huge footprint. Spencer left his mark through the Tennessee wilderness, hunting for bear. Other hunters would stumble upon the tracks Spencer left and were frightened by the size of it. When asked how big the print was, no one was able to answer. Apparently, Spencer's strength was just as large as his shoe size. One day, Spencer came upon two settlers who were struggling to lift a big log on top of a wall they were building. Spencer took the log from them, then threw it on top of the wall. This, too, frightened the people. Spencer's reputation left a big imprint everywhere he went. People were afraid of him because of his size. He got the reputation of Bigfoot, or also known as wood booger in Virginia. In Virginia, they actually are sanctioned for wood boogers, where you cannot harm one should you come across one. Spencer would get in the occasional fight as well, and he once threw a man over an 8-foot fence. Where is he now, do you ask? People have claimed to have sighted him on Base Mountain Park, where it says to have been full of evidence that Bigfoot has been there. Sticks stuck oddly in the ground, bones on the forest floor, and mysterious shaped structures made out of the branches. These structures have been said to be coverings for where Bigfoot likes to lie under. Another man claims to have seen evidence of him in Sullivan Gardens, where 1.5-inch branches, green branches, ripe branches, were twisted off from the top of the tree and thrown to the ground. There have been over 70,000 reports of Bigfoot in the northeast Tennessee area. Have you seen him? Have you heard him? Better watch out.
Who or what is the Tennessee Wild Man? A Sasquatch, a mythic beast? Just a figment of people's imaginations? Well, he certainly was real enough to the people of McNairy County, Tennessee in the 1800s. In fact, the newspaper, the Hagerstown Mail, warned residents about a giant, hair-covered, red-eyed beast lurking in McNairy County in western Tennessee near the Alabama border. Residents had spotted the Tennessee Wild Man carrying off goats, scaring women and children. It was said you smelled the Tennessee Wild Man before you heard him or saw those piercing red eyes in the night. A posse of men even gathered, combed the areas of McNairy County and other desolate areas of western Tennessee at the time looking for this wild man. They made no contact, for the wild man must have been pretty clever, because even after this posse formed and disbanded, sightings of the Tennessee Wild Man continued in western Tennessee for several decades after, with newspapers even reporting the sightings. But lest you think the Tennessee Wild Man was confined only to western Tennessee, he's in northeast Tennessee, according to at least 2 eyewitnesses who first smelled and then saw him in the Carter County area in the mid-1990s. Yes, much like the skunk ape, a legend of Florida, the Tennessee Wild Man apparently reeks. But when you smell him, the smell is strange, heavy, but it's also unforgettable as that of a dead body. The Tennessee Wild Man lives in the forests. He stays hidden. And what the 2 men in Carter County saw fit the same description of those poor settlers down in McNairy County in the 1800s. An 8-foot giant covered in dark gray hair with piercing red eyes staring at them through the woods. They didn't stick around long enough to see if he was real or to see what exactly it was, but they knew it was no bear, no animal indigenous to our area. Was it the Tennessee Wild Man? Is he still out there, somewhere in the forests of northeast Tennessee, looking for a dog to carry off. We may never know, but I'd just keep that back door locked at night just to be sure.
In 1771, the Wilcoxs Plantation was built by the Chandler family in Sevierville, Tennessee. Along with the house, there's a smokehouse, storage house, and it grew up to over 4,000 acres of land. The Chandler family, the father of the Chandler family that is, was heard to have defeated an Indian war force on that land. It is said that over 70 people have died in the house alone from causes such as natural, accidents, and cold-blooded murder. Stains still show to this day of the blood that was spewed on the walls because of these deaths that refuse to go away. Owners have tried to replace the carpet, replace the walls, and wash it away, but have not been successful because the stains come back the next day. Multiple Native Americans, slaves, and Revolutionary War soldiers are buried across the property. Ghosts of the Chandler family have been sighted throughout the house. Some have even claimed to have witnessed full exchanges between ghosts and seen glimpses into the past. Strange banging noises and disembodied footprints throughout the house and stairs have also been heard, while visitors have claimed to felt invisible hands tapping their shoulders. Sounds of drumming and chanting have been heard across this property. On the second floor, a childlike presence has been felt and has been heard that she whispers and giggles and even rolls a ball towards a visitor from a dark room. Those who are brave enough to venture out at night have heard cannon fire, gunshots, and even smelled meat cooking. They've also witnessed fog-like apparitions floating inches above the ground, sending cold chills to those visitors who were brave enough to be outside at night. They have also sighted apparitions of soldiers and seen smoke they believe to have been cannon fire. Will you be brave enough to visit the Wilcoxs Plantation?
Thank you for joining us for this very special episode of The Sound Bearier. Have fun this Halloween season, but keep those doors locked, as you never know what's out there.